Guys, there were some event or one particular event actually that happened in this film that left me in shock. What actually was the problem with Icheku? Why didn't Icheku believe that Olama loved him so much? Why was Icheku so insecure and was so quick to assume that his wife would want to kill him? Mademoiselle Ruth Kadiri deserves a billion hug. What? This is our first epic movie, and the movie delivered 100% content wise. An entirely refreshing, beautiful, captivating, thrilling story. This is a movie that will literally leave you at the edge of your seat. This is a movie that ticked all. This is a movie that you would find yourself guessing and guessing, trying to predict, and you would never predict a thing in this film. I love the storyline. When Ruth Kadiri gave us the memo of she releasing her first epic movie, I was anticipating it. Reason being that it's been a long time I have seen an English village film, okay? And I wanted to so watch it badly and, see what she can pull or give in a movie. And guys, she really delivered. This is a very beautiful, unique, and refreshing storyline. There were a lot of twists and turns, tension, suspense. This movie had it all. Guys, there are a lot of things to talk about in this movie, The King's Heart. So guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Substance TV, and if you're coming across this channel for the first time, thank you so much for being here. Please do also click on the subscribe button to join our movie loving community. And in today's video, we're going to be dissecting the movie The King's Heart. As a matter of fact, I'll be referring to each actors in their character's name because that will sound very much interesting. Reason being that we are familiar with their character's name and their character's names hold more weight than their real names in this particular film. This is a 4 hour film approximately, and so guys, The King's Heart is a story that centers on these three main characters, Prince Ifeme, Olama, and Icheku. Prince Ifeme is the king's first child in his marriage after a long time of waiting for a child. The gods blessed the king with Prince Ifeme. But there is a prophecy, a dark prophecy that looms over Prince Ifeme, which is he wouldn't father a child. The royal lineage would pass after him to another lineage. And the king was bothered with that prophecy and was disoriented, but he kept it to himself for years. Now Prince Ifeme grows up to be a man, a strong man, living a promiscuous life, supported by his mother. Then we have character Olama. Olama is the palace servant and a friend to Prince Ifeme. They've been childhood friends and they grew up together with Olama serving Prince Ifeme. So Olama is heavily burdened with the absence of her parents, a mother banished from the village by the queen mother unjustly, and her father's untimely death due to the tragic event. But Olama still tries to put up a smiling face because the prince still shows her some level of kindness, some level of respect and love. So we have Icheku. Icheku is a very great diviner, a guy who is able to see the future. He's respected by many for his powers. Icheku comes into the picture and the story took an entirely different turn. Now, we have Prince Ifeme confessing his feelings to Olama, promising her marriage after being threatened by Effiong, a very rich young man in the village that had feelings for Olama and was willing to take Olama as his wife. Now, the prince asked Olama to be his girlfriend and Olama agreed, being that they've been friends and he's someone that she likes. So they started seeing each other secretly without the queen mother's knowledge. The queen mother was unaware of what was going on between her son and the palace servant. So when the king fell very ill, the king confessed to his queen and his son about his child, the first son that he had before he married his wife, that he would come back to take the position as the king. And that news shattered Prince Ifeme and the queen mother. They began searching for ways and solutions to make sure that Prince Ifeme becomes the crown king of the village. They began to search for ways to contact the great diviner Icheko, and Olama decided to help them with that. So she went in search of Icheko, and on meeting Icheko, she told Icheko her problem, and Icheko told her that the only way Ifeme can become the king is if the woman that he would marry would be willing to give her womb in exchange for the crown. And guess what, guys? Olama thought about it and decided to give Prince Ifeme her womb. Even Icheko himself was surprised. They did the rituals, and the next day, Olama was set to leave. And while she was about leaving, she was kind of missing Icheku because they've already shared this great bond and connection. Like they vibed, they talked. He loved her presence in the bush where he lived. Alright, so Olama went back only for her to witness Prince Ifeme welcoming his new bride to his house. Like she felt so heartbroken, she felt so shattered. She ran away. Ifeme went in search of her and was apologizing, pleading to her that his mother forced him, and he waited and waited and waited for her, but she didn't come back soon. So Olama felt so betrayed. This is the man that she had already done a lot for him, just for him to become the prince, and this is how he wants to pay her. Like, baby girl was so mad, she was so upset. And then, after months and months, the fourth son of the king showed his face, and it was no other but the great diviner Icheku. Guys, that was when the movie got me. Icheku was the first son of the king and literally the heir apparent to the throne. After he had introduced himself, villagers were happy to see that the king's son is here already. Alright, so he actually hid the fact that he was Icheku, the Icheku that people have always been talking about, and a lot of people did not even know that he was Icheku, the great diviner. Nobody knew how he looked like, but they only heard of Icheku and heard of his powerful works and his great works. Okay, a lot of people thought Icheku was actually an old man because, guy, who would perform this kind of magic, these miracles that Icheku performs, okay? Who would have this kind of power that Icheku had? So people thought Icheku was an old person, not knowing that he was a very young man. Only Olama knew who Icheku was, and she was so surprised to know that Icheku was the son of the king. So to cut long story short, Icheku asked Olama to be his wife, and Olama was surprised, and asked why he wants to marry her, knowing that she doesn't have a womb again, and he said that he loves her regardless, and only she had the power to determine who would be the king of the village. So Olama decided to marry Icheku, and Icheku was crowned the king, and Olama became the queen of the village. So with them as kings and queens, they had the power to change certain rules and traditions of the village, which includes the unbanishment of those that have been banished, the reduction of the villagers' tributes. So the villagers were so happy for this new government, and a lot of people benefited from this, including Olama herself. So the role of the kingship wasn't an easy one. There were still battles for power and kingship, which turned into a fierce struggle for survival. So I will end this here. Guys, there were some events, or one particular event actually, that happened in this film that left me in shock. What actually was the problem with Icheku? Why didn't Icheku believe that Olama loved him so much? Why was Icheku so insecure and was so quick to assume that his wife would want to kill him? Alright, I understood his feelings that for a woman to sacrifice her womb, for a man, it means that the woman really loves the man. But then again, this your wife has shown you love, she has shown you care, she's trying as much as possible, or she has tried to forget about Ifeme, but you still keep on bringing Ifeme to the picture, thinking your wife is not still done with the feeling she has for Ifeme. Like, she has tried in all ways she could to convince you that she loves you and it is only you. Bro, do you want her to kill herself before you know that she's actually means what she said? And what transpired at that scene actually made me believe what Icheku has been saying, that he cannot know everything. For the fact that he knows some certain things doesn't mean that he knows everything. And this is a proof that he actually didn't know everything, alright? Because this woman has, in every way possible, tried to make you know that you mean the world to her, but you still find it difficult to believe her. This is a wife that didn't even share the secrets you shared with her to her own mother, and then you still think that she would have the power to poison you. Like, what are you even saying? What were you thinking? Why did you drink the water when you knew the water was poison? Because I could tell that this guy knew that there was something in the water. That was why he was acting the way he was acting. You know, at that point, I even thought that, what is going on here? These people want to put us in tension. But Icheku knew that that water was poison. He knew that that water had entered fire, but he still decided to drink the water. I do not even understand. Like, why would you want your wife to go through such pain? Why would you want to cause your own death? You don't even pity your wife at all. You just wanted to make her a widow. Guys, that point, I was so pissed. I was so angry. Like, what is this? What is this? Like, I literally found it difficult to believe that this actually has happened to Icheku. Me, I thought that the story would change. I waited, like I was in doubt for a long time until the movie ended, and I was like, So Icheku went like that, leaving his wife alone in this world. It was such a painful death, really, and I wish that the story had other twists in that case. I wish Icheku did not die. And I was like, it should not even be that Olama wants to go back to Prince Ifeme, because at this point, I can break my screen. I was so pissed. I was like, Olama must not try to go back to Ifeme. And trust me, that was what happened. She never went back to him. She never. This guy had the mind, had the boldness to still come and meet Olama, to tell Olama that he still loves her, that he wants to get married to her. Imagine the nonsense, imagine the insults. Imagine. You that knew that your wife and your mother were conspiring to kill your brother. You said nothing. You said nothing. You planned nothing. You allowed them. You want her to marry you. I wanted to give this guy a very hot slap. I was so pissed, and I loved what Olama did. I love that she told him that she alone could decide who would be the next king, that she made Icheku king and she would crown her son the king when he becomes of age. That if he can wait till her son becomes the king, then maybe she would consider his offer of marriage. And I'm like, is it where you're already using walking stick and touch or what? Guys, in fact, this is the best movie I have seen in a long while. I loved what later happened to the Queen Mother and Kosiso, Ifeme's wife. I loved the punishment that Olama gave to them. Like, it was deserving. Those people were evil, like evil people. It was so deserving. Like, this movie really ticked the boxes for me. Aside from what happened to Icheku, that really, really hurts me so much. So, what I loved about this film, I loved the storyline so much. The storyline is an entirely unique and refreshing storyline, one that you can never predict. Like, this movie would give you no room to predict what will happen the next instance. The points where you're even predicting that this is what will happen, it will just change. Like, it was that good, and I love that this movie passed on that. Yes. Another thing I loved about this movie was the acting. I love how the actors embodied their character. Guys, let's talk about Icheku, played by Ujams Chukwunonso. Oh my goodness. His courage for his character was phenomenal. The guy was convincing. I love the ritual path, where he was saying all those incantation and the rest. I love that he could embody his character and breathe life into it, and I enjoyed him so much in this film. Guys, Icheku was really amazing. Ujams was really amazing here. Yes, he killed his character. I loved that of Daniel Etim Effiong as Prince Ifeme. He understood the message and he carried it out so well. I loved his emotions in this movie, very much balanced, and it was good. Ruth Kadiri played the character Olama. She performed well, yes, but there were moments where her emotions didn't fully connect with the intensity of some scenes in this film, but she really tried in her character. We have Oma Nadi, and she played the character Kosiso. This lady really understood the message in this movie, and she delivered on 100%. I loved her in this movie. She was the wife to Ifeme, and this woman was really bitter and wicked to the point where that her character actually suited her, because she had the right reaction reaction, expression, and courage for that her role, and that was good. We have the Queen Mother played by Obai Titus, so she gave an average performance, yes. Some scenes lacked the emotional depth needed, yes. So every other supporting actors in this movie did so greatly, they did so well, and really I enjoyed the acting, yeah. So another is the cinematography. No caps, guys. The cinematography was so good. I love the capture of emotions. I love the camera angles, the close-up shot. It was really good, yeah. I love the directing as well. Kudos to the director of this film. Man did a really great work here. I love the costumes. Goodness, the costumes were really good, befitting of a village film. The accessories, everything. I love it so much. I also love the location and the settings, the village look. Everything there was just looking so real and beautiful and added to the beauty of the film. Yes, I love the music as well. Oh my goodness, it was interesting, it was enjoyable. The songs were really giving, like so interesting. The entire production department in this film did so well. Yes, and a big shout out to the screenwriter of this movie for such a beautiful and compelling storyline as Ruth Kadiri. Ruth Kadiri is the writer of this movie and the brain box behind this movie. This is really, really, really a very beautiful and well-crafted story, and this lady has shown that she's truly a powerhouse. A writer extraordinaire, a producer extraordinaire, and an actor. Guys, kudos to this lady for such a beautiful movie. Now, this brings me to what could have been better in this film. So I'm not going to rule out the fact that this is an interesting movie and a beautiful movie. But then again, there were minor flaws in the film and little gap I noticed. And number one is the modern language in an epic film. So there were certain dialogues that were too contemporary, too modern, too current for a native film. And a perfect example is the scene where the Queen Mother was speaking to her favorite servant of the kind of lady she wants for her son. What she was describing her, she used the word classy. A classy woman. There are a lot of things she had used, but I picked that, classy. And I mean, classy is too modern, too current to be in a typical village film. I feel like there are other words that would have been better to really describe a person rather than using classy for that kind of, setting, that kind of movie, village film. All right. So another one was the point where the Queen Mother was speaking to her son, Prince Effiong, and what they were talking about their marriage, she referred to, I think, their marriage as wedding. She called it wedding. And I'm like, those days, there was nothing like wedding. The thing everybody knew then were, marriage, paying bride price. The word wedding looks so current for such kind of movie. So those are my observation. And the second thing for me here is the casting choice for Olama. Olama is a character that holds so much emotional weight. Yes, Ruth Kadiri did her job. She did well, no doubt. But then the role needed more. There were moments where Ruth Kadiri's emotion didn't connect. There were moments where her emotions felt off. Personally, I would have preferred someone else who could bring a deeper emotions into Olama's character. But notwithstanding, the movie really was great. To every department who made this movie worth it, thank you all so much for pulling through with this. So guys, I want to know what you think about this movie in the comment section. Let's discuss in the comment section about this beautiful film. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing reviews. See you guys in my next video. Until then, stay splendid.